Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode here on our single player world. Today we are coming to have a look at what I finished in the last episode, and I love you guys. Remember the last one I said I would show you in the thumbnail, or I said actually I'd show you on Twitter, and there was a little bit of a sneak preview of what this place looked like, and I actually thought it looked pretty awesome. In fact, I've actually got to replace my one chicken that I stole from there because I was getting a bit hungry, and yeah, I may or may not have stolen this chicken. So what we've got going on here, I want to quickly show you guys. We had a villager in this minecart, and I must have bumped the minecart with him in, and when I came back I found the minecart over here and a zombie villager walking around inside here. Now the only thing was I couldn't get him back in the minecart, so I had to kill him so that I could get down to the bottom. And I want to quickly show you what I've done. It's not really too important, it's not a very major change, but it is pretty cool. So I've moved this up one level, and I've realized why this is meant to be up one level normally, and it's because the wool on top there ends up burning, so that stops it from doing that there. Now, if you guys hear a bit of noise in the background, I apologize for that. There's just a bunch of wind around this area. Oh, look at that. That's new. We've got a bunch of chickens. In fact, let's have a look. What does it say? 83 entities or something like that. That's actually not 200 and something there. Yeah, we've got quite a few chickens in here. Quite a lot of chickens. But we're having a bit of an issue, and maybe I could have a look at what could be causing this. Because if you have a look, when a chicken dies, hopefully we'll get one in here now. And, oh, by the way, this was just here because I was testing some stuff out. Never mind, that's not too important. I was just messing around with some things. Okay, but yes, this over here, we're not getting a chicken dying yet. But sometimes the chicken, I think, is getting burnt up in there, which, not the chicken itself, but the item, as in one of these, cooked chickens, are getting burnt up in there, and then they don't get dropped into the hopper and transported up here, which is kind of annoying. But we'll have to work that out and see what's going on. And I think another thing which I should probably do now is just light this area up before one day, I know there's a spot up here, one day I'm going to come in here and regret not doing it. So we've got that out the way. Now, what I want to do is get to our new project that we are, well, a part of our larger, you know what, actually never mind. You know what, let me tell you, I've got like, in my head, I've got like 3-phase projects, right? So 3 different phases. We've got our large project, which is this entire base area, the entire village or town. And the next project is kind of like my mini, almost like our 20 episode project, which is this area over here. Then within that, we've got our small project, which is this piece over here, which you guys might not know what this is. So it looks very, very strange. And in fact, if we actually, let me just do this to make some of you guys happy. And I've actually got some cool news to tell you guys about this. But yeah, let me take 1 or 2 of those. Let's just do a few of these. We'll fly up with these. Okay, cool. So this should be high enough. We've got this block over here. And block is the main word, the most important word we could use for this. Because really, it's a weird concept that I'm trying out here. And I'm trying to see how it'll come out once I finish building it. But what we did is we first laid the paths around. Well, I did that off camera. And then I decided, because I want this whole area filled in with houses, I want this whole area to be filled in with multiple houses, all connected to each other. I decided it might be good to just kind of shape out a piece like this and use these as parts to work off. So basically, we could have really interesting shapes inside the houses. And we might end up, like, finding this as a better way to start building. Maybe it'll make things look a little bit less planned, a bit more random, and I think that could be something we could use here. So I hope this idea does turn out alright. What I want to do, first of all, is I want to just get a bit of a... I don't want everything to be unique, like, everything to be the same. So, for instance, I might have a wall over here, which is completely stone, alright? So we could have, like, a bit of stone brick, bit of stone there, and like just make this wall, obviously we'll do a better job of this like than that, as stone, and that could be kind of an interesting little piece. And then over here, and this is just stuff that I've been thinking of. Wait, these need to be right next to each other, then my life will be a lot easier. There, and we'll get rid of one of those. Just do a little bit of stuff to see how this will look. But yeah, we can have a wall like that, where this one is, for instance, half bone block, half stone block. And that could look good as well. So it's a matter of trying out a few things on here as well, because I'm not too sure how I want this area to turn out. I've got a picture in my head, and as you guys know, every time we do that, just doing a little bit of stuff here and there, and it starts to look completely different to what I've said it's going to look like. So hopefully we get something that looks kind of good. That's a bit symmetrical, but there we go, like that. You know what I mean? Like this one over here can be a full wall. This one can be a half. We might even have some wooden ones, and it won't be as choppy and changey, but it'll have some level of change in it. And as I say, the idea is that we'll get this all out, the whole outline planned, and we'll start building in from there. So it's kind of a larger small project, if that makes sense. And I think it'll be kind of interesting as to what it turns out like. By the way, another thing, I may or may not have got killed by a creeper just before recording this. Please let me sleep. In fact, did I? No, I'm busy looking. I know I had a bunch of bone blocks placed somewhere else, and I'm not too sure where they are, so I hope to find them, because we'll probably need them today. If not, I'm going to have to go back into our bone factory to work that all out. So what I want to do now, I've got a bunch of these, which I think we're going to use spruce as our top layer over there. Majority of the houses are going to be spruce upper walls, if that makes sense. And we'll probably just want to take in a few more of those. We'll add in these blocks at a later stage. In fact, we'll leave them with us, but we'll add them in once we've finished a lot of this. If you guys have seen the tutorial I did for the texturing of stone walls, I've got a set way that I do this. I tend to find it just, well, now I'm doing these together, but for purposes of explaining, I found it a bit easier to just do it in a set way where I get rid of stuff. But really, this tends to be my easiest way of doing it, just kind of putting stuff together, getting it to work. So I thought that was kind of a thing which you guys might see me contradict myself on. But yeah, what I wanted to talk to you guys about now is, a lot of you would follow Jeb on Twitter, and if you guys don't know Jeb, you guys should. He's I think the creative director or something director of Minecraft. Basically, Jeb makes the decisions, makes this game what it is nowadays. And what I could see from what the most recent tweet at the time of me recording this is that Jeb showed us some interesting blocks which will be in the next update. So Minecraft 1.12 update, which I thought is a pretty cool thing to see, that we are getting some new blocks. And in particular, if you guys haven't seen these blocks, I would highly recommend just checking them out. They look, obviously, there was actually a correction made that a lot of people were making the assumption that these blocks were retextured clay blocks, but they actually weren't retextured clay blocks, these new blocks that have been added. They multiple colored blocks, which look, think of a clay block in Minecraft with the right color on it. So think of a red clay block actually looking like a bright red. Think of the cyan one actually looking cyan and not like that gray. That's what it pretty much looked like. And I thought that was kind of interesting that we are getting those ones, which makes me wonder, would this be like some sort of a builder's update coming on here? Because I know just how much that has been requested, and I would love that, obviously. I'd love to see stuff like that. I'm not too sure how much I would use those particular blocks, just because we obviously use a different kind of palette, but they would definitely come in handy at some stage, that's for sure. And I was just wondering what your guys' opinion on those were, whether they would be useful to you guys, or also if you guys also build a lot of medieval stuff, would you find a use for them? Because I don't know if I would, at least on exteriors. I think I'd probably find a lot more to do with interior stuff, but I'm not too sure with the exterior builds whether I would have a lot of use for them. So yeah, that was what was going through my head. I've been thinking about it for a few days now since it came out, so I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty damn excited. Now, also, another thing which I'm trying to figure out, this is something I've been trying to challenge myself with, is trying to guess what type of block it's going to be called. Because if it's a new block and it looks sort of like a clay block, what type of materials would you need to make it? And what type of block would it be called? Of course, that's a very interesting thought to me, because I don't know. I would have said maybe my guess at the moment would be like a normal clay block. So for instance, the clay that you might like dig out the ground in like rivers and stuff. To me, it looks like it could be something like that, because it looks like a solid block. It looks like a fairly hardy looking block. And maybe it's like a stained clay, so you can stain clay and then cook it later. And maybe that'll make a bit of a difference. I don't know. Maybe. It's just my guess. But yeah, let me know if you guys have got a different guess, because, in fact, maybe by the time I doubt, I'm pretty sure on Wednesday this is coming out, so this video will be out by then. But if for some reason we figure it out before, then obviously ignore that. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think this could be. I'm pretty interested to think whether it's known already, because I like to guess things before it happens. It's more fun when you get stuff surprised or you get them right or something like that. You know what I mean? It's fun to speculate. So let's check how this build is coming along. I just want to take a step back quickly and have a look. And I also want to show you guys another bit of stuff that I've been working on. So yeah, how's that looking? That'll be good. We've got like this. We'll add in a bunch of stuff over here. Walking over here, we'll also have stuff over there. Yeah, I think this will look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. We still have to fix up this path, because the path didn't work out quite as I planned. But that's alright, it wasn't a set path, it's just a general direction. Yeah, this will work for sure. So it's just a matter of us adding in a bit more of this stuff. It shouldn't be too much of trouble, which I'll do now. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll get a bit of that done, and I'll show you guys a little mini project that I've been working on the side. Okay, so this is the little mini project that I've been working on. I think I showed you guys a little bit of what I did in the last episode. Oh, there goes everything. I've figured out that I've got a few spots that I've got to fix up with this water, but that's alright. That's not too hard to fix up. Now, around here, you can see I've got a bit of a trench dug, and I've mentioned that I think last time as well, that it's a bit of me messing around trying to see what everything looks like, and without a doubt, I feel that this deeper crevicey sort of thing looks a lot better on these rivers. Look at that. And another thing which I've been getting quite a bit recently, which is kind of strange, that has happened all of a sudden, is getting the water texture changed. And overall, I don't like to change textures, but I do feel where you guys are coming from with the water texture. It's a very, very intrusive color, the water here in Minecraft. And I've seen a lot of people tend to, when they do change the water, a lot of people, because it's not just me that likes to keep the default textures. I find that default textures, despite the fact that they don't always look exactly how you want them, it's kind of a challenge, and that's what I like about them. But a lot of people who do that as well also do like to change the water textures, it seems like, and that is something that I would to some extent consider myself doing. Maybe if we get a lot of people wanting that, we could probably have a look at seeing what we can do to lighten that texture. I've never really changed many textures well, I haven't changed any textures in here except for the sky, and that's not really count. That doesn't really count. But yeah, a lot of things we could do with that. So in fact, why did I fly over there? We can go back here. That'll be alright. We can stop there. So over here, you can see I've been working on this area here. This is the main little mini project that I've been doing. Just messing around with like the rock, and I can see immediately when I come here, because I haven't really taken much of a step back since I did this area. But I need to get rid of a lot of this cobblestone. It's looking very funny over there. But over here, you can see we've just done a lot of rock stuff here. And what I've learned from doing this, because obviously this is something I'm not very, very confident in doing. And you can see as I've gone on from that side to that side, I think it's started to get a little bit better. And what I've realized with texturing rock and texturing all this sort of stuff is that you really don't, just like what I realized, in fact, with texturing stone brick walls, is the empty space is just as important as the texturing itself. And I think I've overdone it over here to a large extent. A little bit less over here. I think maybe this half here needs to be redone. This half here, maybe a little bit more. But I feel like this is what we're looking for. Something along these lines here where it kind of looks like the mountain's kind of, well, not mountain, the land is kind of coming over here and the rivers run through, and that's come along that way. And then I want to slowly transition it over into a bit of proper grass over here, which we might even smooth this over. Maybe make that a little bit smaller and make a nice smooth hill going over there. That's my plan for this little mini project which I've been doing. And obviously it doesn't really lend itself to on-camera type stuff, because I mean it's a lot of tedious stuff. But I think this could come really, really nice. Now, what I want to quickly do, just to maybe give you guys a bit of an idea, and I also want to see how it looks, is my plan for this area once I've smoothed over this hill over there. I want this bit over here, where we've got our sunflowers, where they end. We want this area to be pretty much a woodland sort of area. So I want more trees, I want some stuff going on over here. And I think we can maybe build a few trees just while we're waiting around here. And I think I'll have to probably fix land up and stuff around them at some stage, but it should be alright. We'll try it out. I feel like building trees today. Pretty much. That's pretty much it. So let's get a little bit of an oak tree. Maybe, how big do we want this one? We'll leave this one like a relatively decent, not huge. Man, I hate when I do that. Maybe not a huge tree, but we'll keep it somewhat of a normal size, I guess. So we'll do that. There we go. And another one here. There, and maybe one more up around there. Cool. So let's check how this tree turns out. Now, I've got a bit of a plan for this week's tutorial, guys. So if you want to, this actually is pretty much probably why I'm thinking of building trees. We've got a tree building tutorial this week, and I hope you guys are gonna get excited for it, because it's one that I've tried to take a lot of ideas that I've learned about building trees and see how they go. So I plan on, hopefully at that stage, well, at the end of it, I hope that you guys gain something if you guys do watch it. If you guys maybe build a better tree or something along those lines, you know, just to improve the way people do things, and hopefully not have to go through the exact same path that I've had to go through to get to building trees the way I build trees, at least, which I think is a lot better to the way that I used to build trees. So maybe that will work, maybe it won't, but I hope it does provide you guys with something cool. Now, let's see how these branches are coming here. I think, actually, what I might do is I might just get this tree done, and then I'll also add in a few bushes around here just to see how this looks once this area is cleaned out, because I feel like this over here should be a little bit of a crevice, like that, and we can have some bushes going over here down to the water, and just coming out of there, and that generally makes a massive difference. So let's see how that looks there, and I'll get the tree done, and we'll check it all out. So yeah, that's alright. I think that the tree's looking alright over here. A little bit of work to do on it, nothing too much. I think it's pretty much the height and shape that I wanted. So there's a few bushes there, a few bushes around here, I guess, as well. We can just add in some like that. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, I'm probably not going to sit in this area now for much longer. I think we can go ahead and head off that way. And we'll place one block down here. Good. So let's have a look at it from a distance. Yep, that's good. If we can have a few more trees there, I'll be very happy. Just a little bit of a mini forest in the way. So coming back to this, what I want to do with the top bit here now is I want to just get a few peaks and stuff of roofs, just to get an overall idea of what this area will be turning out to be like. So obviously this will be a lot of off-camera stuff here, but it'll all be worth it, I think, in the end. Doing a bit of grind on this stuff just to get it all working for us. So we'll do that there, those there. I was actually kind of hoping we didn't have this one extra block. It would have been a nice number. So yeah, we'll get onto the roof now. And what I'm thinking is something similar to that, which means I also need a bit of those. A few of those. We'll also get a few more like this. Okay, cool. So we'll go back up here. How do I get up here? There's no way I can... Actually, I could probably just do this. There we go. Unconventional, I know, but I think it works. Okay, there we go. We've got this going on now. Let's see if we do it one roof here. And then we also, well, one thing I'm thinking of with this over here, and it's the idea that I like picture in my head right now. As I say, it always turns out differently, but I want this to be varying heights. So maybe we'll even go a little bit higher. We'll have one maybe just a little bit taller than this building, kind of have these all stuck together, maybe a balcony on the inside or something like that. I've just got this idea in my head, and I want to test it out. You know, tell me what you think. If you think it's going to be a train smash, or if you think it's going to be something good. But I feel like this idea is something that I've had, sort of similar to what we've been doing there, which hasn't really been a main project, which we've kind of just gone to whenever we felt like it. But I think that doing this sort of stuff, just testing things out, is what's given us the ability to get a little bit better, and we'll know for next time. So having a roof like that, I can see there, we'll probably want a higher one at the back. So this is the sort of thing that I'm seeing what I want to do now. So I know that I want a roof here. I'll pull that back, have another higher piece, and then a roof. So I'm probably going to pull off a few things like that. In the meantime, what I think we can do is we can maybe go back and discuss yet another project, which I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on. And that is what I was talking about with these firework rockets. So You guys will know the reason we don't use firework rockets that much is because we currently don't have access to a mob farm. Our only mob farm is this one over here, which is our skeleton farm, and overall it's not effective for getting gunpowder. In fact, I'll let you know, we've got 0 gunpowder from making this farm. It's all about bones in this farm. Oh, stepped out of the portal. It's all about the bones, obviously. But what I'm planning on doing, because this portal over here is actually, it's become sort of our mini farm area. We've got 2 farms here, and I plan on adding a few more. That's why I've got these extra hallways and stuff going out there. So what I was thinking, which could be kind of cool, is either to come back here and build a farm a bit higher up, just an all-out mob farm. So every single type of mob in that farm, all up there, and, well, except for strays, because this is actually a desert biome, if you have a look there. So we'll get some husks and stuff, which will be pretty much the same drops as a zombie. So that won't be too much of a trouble. In fact, I'm just thinking, if we have that over there, like husks, would they take up one extra type of mob? So let's say, for instance, we'd have like a creeper spawn, like pretend these are 1-to-1. So creeper to zombie to skeleton to enderman to witch, whatever. Let's just pretend. I know they're not all 1-to-1. But if we've got a husk, does that take up like a zombie spot, or does that take up like a new spot? So then it's like, instead of creeper being a 1 in 5, it's being a 1 in 6. Is that something that would happen? Just thinking, that's probably interesting to check, because if that's the case, we'll probably be better off building it in a non-warm biome. So for instance, like, I think the savannah might be, I don't think you get husks in the savannah, so that could be something we could have a look at. But just something like that, I think could be kind of cool, just to mess around with the farm, have a bit of fun. It's not going to be something spectacular, but it'll be a farm nonetheless, and I've seen a lot of you guys asking for farms in the comments. How did this get... What? I'm very confused. Yeah, you're not going to do much damage to me, Spider. You may as well just, yep, give up. Must have come through the portal. Very, very strange. But yeah, that's another idea that I've got going on there. So hopefully we'll get back to that. In fact, I'm just going to make a trip through the I don't have enough space. I was going to say I'll do a trip through the end, get some more ender pearls, but that's alright, we don't have enough space. What I'll do now is I'll get a little bit more of this roof stuff done here. I'll maybe do a bit more planning, and hopefully, by the end of what I've done, what I want to get done today, let me tell you this actually, what I want to get done today is I want from this area here, this particular side here, I want this to look like the shape it should be. So have its few buildings, have its height and stuff all ready and laid out, and then what we'll do is we'll get more stuff done after this episode. So that's my plan, at least. Let's see how I go with that. Alrighty guys, so I have finally done a bit, well, it's been taking me a little bit of time, but I finally got what I think it actually should have looked like in my head, which is kind of a strange thing, because normally it doesn't look like that. So, without further ado, there we go. I think that, if you guys get the concept, just think of the concept really of what I'm doing here, and I think, have a look at that. I think that looks pretty good. It's very interesting compared to what we normally build. So, have a look at what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make a bit of height variance, and in fact, even down to the fact that I'm not necessarily using... Oh, these from Endermites. Getting some free experiences. So, over there, this is not done. Remember, I said I was just in the front. Oh, and it's going nighttime as well. But what I'm thinking of is getting, for instance, this height here, not matching that height. And I feel like it just kind of tweaks the eye a little bit, messes with the eye, to not see this as the same sort of roof. Because if we did that at the same level, it would just make the roofs look exactly the same. And I think when it plays with that height a bit, it starts to change stuff quite a lot. So maybe we'll quickly get rid of this before mobs start attacking us. But I like the idea of it. I like doing that sort of stuff, which is a bit different to what we normally do. Because normally we build a house, and then with the idea, for instance, when we do try and do this, we try and add more onto it. So we'll do one, do another one next to it, do another one next to it. But this time we're starting with the overall thing and seeing how it comes out, which I'm actually liking it. I'm liking it quite a bit. Even just doing a little roof like that, got a little bit of a balcony. Maybe we can hop up there. You see what I mean? Just a little bit of a balcony coming out over here. And in fact, I realize where I get a lot of this idea from, which is actually an Overwatch map, which really doesn't look like this, but the concept of this sort of stuff comes from a map called Dorado, if you guys play Overwatch, where there's a whole bunch of things just touching each other. For instance, you can see there's a bunch of houses which are together, and they kind of tightly knit. And that's what I keep in my head while I'm doing this, at least in the concept. That's what I keep in my head. But yeah, tell me what you think about this. Hopefully it's coming along quite well. We'll see in the next episode what it turns out to be. But thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.